to The Lead Seat. It is sponsored by Clark Consulting Group, and I am Dr. Marilyn Clark, and I am President and CEO of Clark Consulting Group. Today, my guest is La'Quita Garcia. Welcome, La'Quita. Thank you for being with
Yep.
me today.
Thanks for
Um,
having me.
and I wanted to tell you a little bit how La'Quita and I met. La'Quita and I went through the coaching program with Erickson International. I had done my first set of curriculum with them and had my ACC certification, but then decided to go back and I wanted to get the rest of the credits for the PCC. So that's where I met La'Quita. And after we finished our coursework, we formed a little what would you call it, La'Quita? What was our little group? What would you
I think
call
we
it?
just kept our connection going,
Yeah.
right? And we had some practice sessions,
Yeah.
triads and
Hmm.
dyads.
Hmm. Yeah.
We wanted to get those practice hours in.
Right. Exactly. So we've kept in touch. That's so to say the least that we have kept in touch. So, La'Quita, I would like for you to introduce yourself and share, what you are about and what you've been up to this year.
Thank you. Yeah, and thank you again for having me here. I think I remember in our talks many years ago, you were saying, Lakita, I think I want to do like a podcast or something. I think I remember when this was just a seed
Hmm.
that was germinating in soil, and here we are. So,
Yep.
congratulations to
Thank
you.
you.
About 20, 30, 40 sessions in. I think it's amazing. Like,
Thanks.
wow. How about that for, growing something that
Hmm.
started just from an idea. So well done, Dr. Clark, Maryland.
Thanks.
Well done. So for me, I'm known as a human resources professional
Hmm.
and a professional leadership coach. I like to call myself a conscious leader and a people potentialist, right? Because I really do believe there's just potential out there that just needs to be tapped and made aware of and conscious of so that we all can really just perform at our highest and our best and create all the wonderful things that we have tucked away sometimes
Hmm.
with the day-to-day getting in the way.
Hmm.
So that's a little bit of how I try to approach. I like to say that I'm a lifelong learner, so you'll always find me doing something to work on my development,
Right.
right,
Me
Marilyn?
too. Yep. Yep. Me
Increase
too.
skills and capability. I mean, I feel like it's the joy, it's the spice of life, right? What can I learn today?
Hmm.
So what have I been up to? Well, again, still working as a human resources professional and then also having amazing conversations with leaders. Um, all things, right?
Hmm.
One something that I found pretty particular two years ago, I guess it is now, while time is flying. I published a guided journal, my
Yeah,
journal,
I
self
remember.
care,
Right.
self love, self
Right.
discovery. You might see it here,
Right.
and
Right.
it was great. I call it like a labor of love in terms of just putting something out there into the marketplace. And as I had conversations with individuals, folks would say, it's so important, but it's a taboo topic, in some spaces. We
Hmm.
don't have the freedom to talk about it. And I thought
Hmm.
that was really interesting to hear. Then others would say, Lakita, I don't even know where to start when it comes to self-care. So
Hmm.
those curious comments really just got me to thinking. And one day, as I'm doing what I do and these ideas come, I just said, why don't we talk about this more? So I
Hmm.
created something called the self-care leadership circles.
Okay.
So 5 weeks where those who want to level up in their self-care, we came together and we really, so yeah, taking trips and getting spas, that's all nice. But what
Yeah.
we did in this self-care leadership circle was really break down and get into the 5 foundational elements of self-care, right? Mental, social, emotional, spiritual,
Hmm.
physical. So we
Hmm.
really spent time on each of those, and each of us walked away from the circle with our own self-care plan, an elevated plan, something that we could
Hmm.
recommit to. So this idea of having a circle and bringing folks together seemed to work well. Like folks like to learn from one another, right? I
Hmm.
do.
Yeah.
That's what we did, right? That's why we
Yeah.
continued after
Right.
our
After.
program. We
That's
we
right.
like being in
Yeah.
community and learning together. So I was like,
You're right.
there's something to that. So this year, right? AI, AI, AI. everywhere.
Where, right. Oh.
So as I like to look over the horizon and see around corners and say, what can I
Mhm,
create next that could be useful? So
mhm,
with the backdrop of AI everywhere,
mhm,
I thought about why don't we, as folks who are curious and leaders,
mhm,
and all of us who are impacted by this
mhm.
phenomena, why don't we come together in an AI leadership circle? And really, the angle that I want to take is really about reclaiming our agency over technology, right?
Okay.
Not AI is going to replace me, but AI amplifying me. So I've been having conversations with folks about that this year and
Mhm.
really getting into, you know, are you someone who wants to reclaim your agency or hand the steering wheel over to the algorithms as all of this unfolds?
Mhm.
So that's a little bit of, in addition to having one on one conversations with others
Mhm.
and everything else
Mhm.
going on, I've
Mhm.
been really tapping into
Mhm.
AI leadership
Mhm.
this year.
Yep, yep. AI is something I even think about it myself. And I'm sure, everyone at this point with AI coming to the forefront are trying to figure out how do I leverage it, or is it going to replace me, or what do I do with it? I think about that myself.
Yeah.
What are ways, how am I going to have this work with me, not for me? And
Mhm.
so I'd like today for us to talk about leadership and AI and just kind of brainstorm about some things that maybe come to mind that people would be interested in. We know it's everywhere. So, what are you doing at the intersection of the professional group coaching and AI for you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I like to start by just a few questions for your listeners and even
sure.
yourself. So, it's kind of like raise your hand if you're overwhelmed by AI at this point, right?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, sometimes. Yes.
Yeah. Raise your hand if maybe there is actually a little bit of excitement too, like, hey, what could this really be? Because it really has done some powerful things when you
Mm-hmm.
start to, play around. And then there's others who would raise their hand and say, I don't even know where to start with AI and
Mm-hmm.
all of the above, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that's really, the folks that I've just been having conversations with, those who are just looking for, so where do I actually start? Like I have all of these emotions as it relates to AI, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, what's the starting point? And
You,
go ahead.
it's funny you say that. A while back, I say maybe I don't know, maybe January, February last of this year. I did take a HRAI
Oh
class,
yeah.
and it
Hmm.
was a class about um, how AI can help in human resources. Okay,
Okay.
because I was a human resource practitioner too. And it was kind of intense, but it was self-paced, though, it was self-paced. So I worked it, when I had the time. But one of the things that kept back in my mind was it felt like it kind of had the feeling of selling AI, not
Hmm.
integrating. It says, how can HR use AI? You can use it this way, you can use it that way. And I was like, but where are the guardrails? Where
Mm.
because AI is just an instrument. Someone has to oversee this information, or how AI is going to develop itself. And they didn't talk about that part.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Yeah.
that so that came up for me, and in this class that I took. So, and
Okay.
I
Yeah.
see what you're saying. So go ahead.
Yeah,
Say,
yeah, there's just so many aspects to it, right?
yeah.
The ethics and the security and,
Mm-hmm.
what's out of scope, what's out of bounds, what should be out of bounds and out of scope. But one of the things that I've just been thinking about and noticing with others is most people are today using AI like a better Google. They type
Oh.
in a prompt, they get
Mm-hmm.
an answer, they move on, right? So a bit reactive, but
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of like using it as if it's a tool. which many say, right? It's a technology, but I
Mhm.
often hear folks say, right, it's a
Right.
tool. AI is a tool. But
Right.
what I'd like to offer is everyone's running to the tool sets, the skill set. What can I learn? How do I come up to speed? But I would actually offer taking a step back and starting with the mindset, right? And
Okay.
shifting from AI as a tool to AI is an operating system for
Mm.
how I work and lead my personal life.
Okay.
And that's a shift in the sense of, so that goes from AI, help me write this email faster, to AI, help me with my communication strategy so I never have to write emails like that again.
Mhm.
What
Mhm.
about that? You
Mhm.
know? And so it's a shift from efficiency, right? Using
Right.
AI
Okay.
as a return on investment, to a shift to transformation using AI as a return on intelligence, really getting us to, use it to help us the way we think, the way we create and go about making decisions,
Mhm.
not only with the speed and the productivity aspect. So
Mhm.
it really gets us to shift from this fast moving pace of this tool, right? If I have a tool that can help me solve this problem, to, oh wow, I have an operating system, think Apple, think, Windows, that's
Mhm.
really going to help me do a number of things and really transform the way I lead as a leader. Oh,
Mhm. Mhm.
now we're on to something, right?
Mhm.
Now we're talking about the power that we can have in really reclaiming our agency over technology versus being replaced by it. But now, okay, this thing can actually amplify me,
Mhm.
as a business owner, as an
Mhm.
employee, whatever the role is.
Mhm.
So that's kind of what I've been having conversations around lately, and
Okay.
marinating on that shift
Right.
around reclaiming our agency over
Mhm.
technology.
Are there certain things, Lakita, that you're or themes that you're hearing coming back as you've been, kind of investigating or researching on this?
Yeah. So, folks are like, that is an interesting take,
Mhm.
with AI and switching from a tool to like an operating system. And it's all about like, well, how do I go about
Right,
that?
right. Exactly.
How do
That's
we
my
do that?
question. Yeah, how do we do that? How do we
So
do
what
that?
I did, uh, for those who are really interested and it matters to them to reclaim their agency over technology,
Mhm.
I've created something called the AI Leadership Circles, right? And
Mhm.
this is going to be a 4-week experience where
Mhm.
we do just that: use AI as an operating system and move from it being a tool to just that, something that really elevates us, enhances us,
Mhm.
and helps us to really step into this cognitive revolution that we're in here
Mhm.
now. And
Mhm.
like in week one, right? So that's all about doing a digital audit and really seeing like what is the robot work that we're doing today versus the work that really could be purposeful, that we could spend time on and really make a difference. So kind of getting a handle on that and really looking at an assessment in that respect. A digital audit is what I call it.
Mhm.
Um,
Okay.
so then from there, we're able to see, oh, here are the goals or what's really important to me and the problems that I want to solve when I parse out the work
Mhm.
that could possibly be automated and
Mhm.
really look at that higher value work. And now
Mhm.
using AI for this body of work. So
Mhm.
then in week two, right? So after we have our audit, then we're going to get into more of like the relational aspects of it and
Mhm.
use and tinker, play around with,
Mhm.
experiment with the various other facets of AI, like the voice mode and visualization. So once we kind of parse out, okay, AI might replace these activities, but then when I focus here to this higher level work, how else can I use AI to really enhance what I'm doing as a leader? Like my earlier example,
Mhm.
how can I become a communicator who's not needing to write these emails faster, but who's writing emails at such a level of depth and clarity that, wow, this really leads to the next step and, acting on whatever the topic is.
Mhm.
So we're going to use the various facets of AI to see, what it can do for us there. Then week three is really interesting because then it's like the integration, right? So you've heard of agents and these
Mhm.
other things that we have in the AI space. But everyone's running to learn, this tool. What is it? AI Claw, Open Claw, and all
Mhm.
these other techniques and so forth and apps that are coming out. But that step back to really seeing, okay, who is it that I want to be in the space of AI is really having a look at, well, for the work that I want to do and that's going to elevate me, what tools actually make sense for me to
Okay.
understand and start to use? Actually, I don't need to learn them all
No.
because it might not be germane to, the work that's going to elevate me. So
Mhm.
it's really us in week 3 talking about the integration of the tools and then
Mhm.
deciding for what I want to do and the leader that I
Mhm.
want to be in this space, here are the tools that may be useful for me. So really
Mhm.
parsing that out. Again,
Mhm.
stepping back from the technology in a way and really stepping into the leadership of who I want to be in this space.
Right.
And then week 4 gets to what you said. This is all about our AI manifesto, really thinking about the ethics and like what is it that we just don't want to outsource to AI? What do we want to keep secret? And
Mhm.
us, all of us as participants, listing out 2 or 3 things that we want to make as our own AI manifesto that we leave the session with and saying, hey, if I'm going to use AI, I first want it to be my ideas. And then maybe I'll take my ideas and then ask AI, what else would you add to so
Yes.
that we
Right.
don't give
Got
away our own creativity and
activity.
our own brain power.
Yes. Right.
you
Right.
know
Yeah.
and then the best part about the 4-week AI leadership circle, which will be in July,
Mhm.
beginning July 10th, 12 noon Eastern Daylight Time, is that after the 4 weeks conclude, you'll have a new network of
Mhm.
leaders, AI leaders, that you can continue to learn from, share ideas and prompts. And I'm also offering those who are in the AI leadership circle an hour coaching conversation with
Mhm.
me at some point in August, just to
Okay.
either continue the conversation or
Right.
bring some other topic that they would like coaching on.
Mhm.
So I
Mhm.
really am looking forward to this opportunity and this
Mhm.
experience to really step into AI in a different way. You can find AI training anywhere. This is
Right.
different. This is not
Yeah.
another AI training,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
This is building that community that's really going to hit the pause button a little bit on technology and think about the mindset shift and
Mhm.
how we can
Mhm.
really reclaim our agency over
Mhm.
technology as we move
Right.
forward. So I
Right.
hope that helps a little.
Yeah, that does help a little, Lakita. When I think about AI, it's a little. Sometimes it can be a little scary,
Mhm.
the possibilities of what it can do. But I think that comes from um, not understanding or needing more education around it, because like you, we work in the people sector. You know what I'm saying? We're about people.
Right.
Technology is useful for what we do, but at the end of the day, it's all about how we service our customers, which are our clients, our coaching clients, our employees, if you're working as an HR
Mhm.
professional. And so when my thought about AI is a lot like along your line of thinking is the people are my customer first. The
Mhm.
AI is something, how do I, use it to help me service them better?
Mhm.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Service them better. What are the little pieces of AI that's going to help me do that? Because I always want to be um, make sure that when I'm, coaching, that I'm servicing my clients to the best, of my ability. So
Right.
I like that concept of not saying, okay, AI here, do it for me, but really keeping that human-centered piece
Mhm.
of yourself and then say, okay, AI, how can you help me keep that
Right.
human? That's what I'm hearing you say, right?
How can AI amplify me,
Yeah.
right?
Can I
Versus
amplify? Okay.
replace me. And something else that I like to say,
Hmm.
because with AI possibly in the workplace as bots or even in our home folding laundry,
Right.
whatever you decide.
Right.
But here's the thing that what we as only humans can do, right? We as humans can lead with heart, right? We
Yes.
can navigate nuance and we can act with conscience.
Hmm.
Machines at least at this point, cannot do that, right?
Right.
That makes us uniquely human. So
Right.
that's where I'm, to your point, thinking about people, that's where I want us to really double click and
Mm-hmm.
stand on, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, oh, time out now.
Yeah.
AI can do a lot of things, but there are certain things that I, as a human, only can do. And that's where I'm just challenging, inviting
Mm-hmm.
others to really stand 10 toes down on that and reclaim our agency in this
Right.
space.
Got you. Got you.